Hello, BC. What's going on? It's Monday, the 14th of September, and I am here to talk about music primarily, to show a record for the series that Ron Anderson started. This will be my fourth one, a record likely no one else has. Something that I will say is that it's apparent that most likely everyone that collects has at least one record someone else doesn't have. And it doesn't even have to be all that obscure. I say this because, one of the things that I like about the VC is just, especially on Facebook, it's like watching cars go by, is looking at people's collections and saying ooh and ah. And consistently people are showing records that I don't have, records I've never heard of, records that look interesting, some that don't, but I venture that everyone can show at least one item out of their collection that no one else owns. I bet you that's pretty cool. But in the spirit of how Ron Anderson has set this up, before I show my new entry, I'll show that I think it's Gary that showed Tales of Captain Black. I also have it. This is a mother of an album. I agree with Ron. This album is, I think, essential. And once you get adjusted to what's going on here, you'll be there forever. Gary had also shown this album. My old Blake sleeves, because of the way I shove my albums together, they get stuck together. But he had shown Tradition in Transition by Chico Freeman, which I have to play. It's been a while. Of my Chico Freeman albums, this is the one I like the most. No Time Left. Thanks, Lane. Great player, though. He'd also shown this album, Say What, Kiting. Again, something I haven't played in quite a while, but I wanted to show that I have it. And on Ron's end, or also someone else had shown some Tuxedo Moon, and I used to have those records, and I went through, I've just explained it before, I've gone through some mental health issues. I don't mind saying it, so you folks that want to doubt me or, have issues about the things I say, there it is for you. Okay, I admit it, I'm a human being. I've been through changes, and as a result of some of those problems I've had, I've sold records and gotten rid of stuff, and later regretted it. And Tuxedo Moon is one of those bands. But I still have the single, What Use, which is just a fantastic song by Tuxedo Moon on Ralph Records, the Residence label. I also have an early single of theirs on their own Joe Boy cram disc. It's actually was put out in Belgium, but it has their imprint, Joe Boy. Boxman by Tuxedo Moon. This is some early stuff, 1987. Good stuff. And then this is Tuxedo Moon related. Stephen Brown, I think Michael Belfort was also in Tuxedo Moon, but they also had this band called Sleepers. And this is a fantastic single, Mirror and Theory. Just some great songs. Very much sounds like Tuxedo Moon. This is an original. I bought it when it came out. And interestingly, I like this enough to keep over some of the Tuxedo Moon stuff. Like I said, I was going through some changes and my brain wasn't working right. I'll tell you that, with whatever imperfections I have, I'm still not going to have reality dictated to me. I see what I see, you see what you see. We can talk about it and maybe we can come to an agreement. But I'm not having people tell me, you're seeing it wrong, whatever, And if that seems arrogant, that's fine. It's like I'm not having anybody tell me what to think. You may know more than me. Well, share the knowledge with me. Thank you. But don't expect me to change and think just because you told me to. I got to go by my experience. There's nothing insulting or to anyone about that. That's about me trying to walk my path. Okay, so the record that I want to show See how you get it all. And I know that some people that just they really just like hearing the personal. I can't really. It's not that I can't help it. It's my choice. This is how I operate. Okay, all or nothing. So the record I want to show that I think no one else has was given to me by Christopher Cole, John Coltrane '68. Truly an oracle of obscure music. The young man is knowledgeable. And I'll bet when he found this, he figured he'd find another one. And if anyone can, it's probably him. But so far he has not. Polyhymnia. Dream Environments Revisited. Joseph Kenneth Bruley and Yusuf Rahman. Again, the last time I looked, and I've looked several times, I couldn't find any information about this particular record. This is a promotional copy. It's like they produced it. It's like its own label. Only information I could find was about these people. Yusuf Rahman, in particular, is a keyboardist and songwriter, and has worked with the Charles Watts 103rd. Do I have it right here? Yep. He's written songs for this band, the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band. Might even have played some keyboards on one of their records. That much I could find out about this. This would come loosely under the term New Age, in that it's has a cosmic, peaceful, celestial kind of thing going on, but several different moods. And then also going by the text on the back here, it's very spiritual, cosmic type stuff. This is really mostly quite good, not treacly. That's why I don't like to use the term New Age. New Age, to me, makes me think of really shitty, treacly music, that. This is not. This is good. Polyhymnia. So, prove me wrong. Somebody else show me a copy of this. Polyhymnia. Pretty cool. Now, generally speaking, these are supposed to be short videos. And so the part for the showing an obscure record is pretty much over. I'm going to keep going for a little bit because I haven't talked in a while about music. And I have a stack here that's been growing of what I've been playing. So I'll talk about that. And then if I'm still in the mood to babble, I will babble at the end of the video. I love myself. I don't take myself too seriously. Okay, I just, I get enough interaction. I talk to enough people that I understand the reality. Again, another reality that I see, which is we all have a perception of each other, and it can be partially correct, but it's never fully correct. So people, we have ideas of what each one of us is, that is never fully there, but people think that they know you. They see me, you see me talking, and you think you know me. But I know the truth is that we only have impressions of each other. I hardly know me. Some of you know what I'm trying to say, okay? I'm trying to just say, it's like, don't take it personal when I get touchy about feedback, okay? It's just, it's because we're dealing with each other's minds, What we see is what we see, so we think everyone else is supposed to see it, right? David Bowie. Soundtrack to Christian F. I like this album. I like playing this because of the order of the songs. Play this all the way through. I've seen the movie, which really doesn't have anything to do with my enjoyment of the album. I like the lineup of the songs and the way that the order they go in. A lot of station to station and low. This is a badass jazz album. If you're looking for jazz, you don't know much about jazz, and you want something really, really good, and just top-notch players, and a session where everything seems to have gone right. This is one. Billy Hart Enchants. I think this came out in 1977. Billy Hart came to prominence playing drums, particularly with Herbie Hancock, and several of those players from Herbie Hancock's band that he was in are on here. This is just fantastic. Enchants. Blowing, swinging, and free, all in the same date. Okay, I haven't played that yet. played this yesterday. It's been a long time. This is a groundbreaking album, Sextant by Herbie Hancock, which led me to playing Billy Hart. For me, even more than Headhunters, this is a signature Herbie Hancock album where he's really laying out the groundwork of the future of funk and modern jazz. Incredible album. Patrick Gleason's synthesizer work on here is just, it's an education. Fantastic album. Got into some Peter Gabriel this weekend. You know, as much as I love the man, it takes me a long time to get into the mood. But this weekend, Mr. Gabriel caught hold, and I listened to Scratch My Back and really enjoyed this. I mean, when I first got it, I was listening to this with Kleeman, my friend from Denmark, when he was in America, and we enjoyed it together, but I hadn't played it since then. And his slow, somber way of breaking things down, I have to be in the mood for. But when I'm in the mood for it, I really get it. You know, Peter Gabriel's river of where he's coming from in making music is a real deep place that I perceive. And so I have to take time to find out what he is about. Every time he makes records, I have to give it time to get to him. This is fantastic. Scratch My Back, where he's covering other people's songs. One of the revelations on here, I thought, is his version of Paul Simon's The Boy in the Bubble. Wow, talk about really bringing the message of that song down to earth. I have this out, haven't played it, was just chatting about it online with people. Amandole 2's Only Human. This was a period where they were kind of incorporating some funk and commercial elements into their music. So compared to their early space rock stuff, this is really commercial. But having said that, this is a very good album, and I like it a lot. Something I got through the BC, Chat Noir. Listened to this all the way through a couple times yesterday. Electric Cities. This is really good. An organic sound that reminds me strangely of King Crimson, even though they don't sound like King Crimson. It's the approach. This is dark. That comes to mind right away. But texturally, it's wonderful. I highly recommend this. Chat Noir, Electric Cities. Fantastic. Thank you who sent it to me. I sometimes can remember, and then sometimes I can't. Started my morning yesterday with Beethoven's Violin Concerto. Herbert von Karajan conducting the Berlin Philharmonic with Christian Ferros on violin. Beautiful and spirited, and this kind of music is good for the brain. It's like, it does command your attention. It's not background. It's like when this music plays, it's like you either engage with it or you have to take it off. It's fantastic. The Alan Bown from the 60s, a UK soul band that took on a little bit of psychedelia in its sound to go with the times. This is a great underrated band, an album from England from the 60s. Jess Roden, am I right? Yep, Jess Roden, who was, I think, in Traffic and many other bands, is one of the players on this album. This is really good, though. The Alan Bown. I recommend this for folks who are into the music of the 60s and 70s. Hadn't played this for a long time. This is way better than I remembered. New Zealand band, Black Girls Machine, Esoterror. And what we have here is the 80s version of when people were first getting into sampling and, layering sound work onto their instrumentals. And this is a very good one. This one is where it really works well. Not just noisy, but melodic as well as, kind of cinematic. Black Girls Machine. Graham Massey of 808 State also had a band called Biting Tongues. This is a 12-inch of theirs called Love Out. Great track. Just a great track. And all the remixes, I just play it all the way through. It's just got a great old style groove. Biting Tongues. Got into a mood of Porcupine Tree. Played Lightbulb Sun. Very satisfying album. As someone had said online, very Beatlesque. I agree. This is a limited edition marble vinyl copy. Porcupine Tree are fantastic. I listen to my music a lot. I really do. And I broke down and played Murphy on vinyl this weekend and really enjoyed the last 3 tracks on side 2. So yeah, I made these records so I could play them, so I could needle drop my own shit, you know, and it's just still a blast to play an album that you made. It's a blast. Pull This, haven't played it yet. Camel's first album, that's coming up. Here's one that was sent to me by one of the people that's on it, Richard Johnson. Haven't talked to Richard in a while, but this, I really enjoyed this. It's strange, so it's not a smooth ride. Theme, No Emotions Catered For. Good title for this album, and the cover is good too. It's slightly weird with the bloody arm and the hand. You don't really know, what is this about? And the album is it's kind of slightly creepy, but not all creepy. It's more like, well, I'm not sure what's going on here. Even with the text. Matter of fact, some of the text speaking on here kind of increases the creep vibe. Some of you will dig this theme. This is good. Thank you, Richard, for sending this to me. If you see this, I pull this, and I haven't played this in a long time. Love this album. Really enjoyed it. Phil Collins' Face Value. And yeah, I think I posted it in one of the groups, and I think I got a little bit of ribbing for it. I don't care about that. That's when I say the things I say. It's like we all see what we see. Somebody else sees Phil Collins and sees a cheesy mainstream artist, and I say, fuck, that's not what I see. This man is one of the greatest rock drummers there ever was. He has my respect. His first solo album is wonderful. So I don't take it personally, and yet at the same time, it is. It's like it's irritating. It's like, fuck that shit. Phil Collins is one of the greatest, okay? Coming from me, all right? So, Bass Communion, another Steven Wilson thing. Another record sent to me through the BC that I thought I'd never own. This is a reissue of the album. Looking for the title. Is this Bass Communion number 2 on white vinyl? Really enjoyed this weekend. And just to come back to some of the records that Vijay recently gave me, this is really good. The new His Name Is Alive. I recommend this. This is another new album from 2015 that I encourage folks to find out about. His Name Is Alive. Okay. I'll stop there, and I'll reiterate what I tried to say earlier, which is, even when I show irritation or my humanness, I mean no harm to anyone, and it comes partially from, deciding to be so public about my thoughts. It's like, how can I not expect to deal with all kinds of folks with all kinds of opinions and thoughts and feelings based on what they receive from me? So I'm apparently willing to take it on because I'm still doing this, but I just want to explain to some of you folks who come by here and get an impression of me that rubs you the wrong way, or you're compelled to write and say something to me. My response will be what it is, because all I can do is take your words that I see on the screen. Since we're not talking, I may not completely understand where you're coming from. And because I deal with a lot of feedback, I am a little bit like this, that response I have to kind of, because again, dealing with people you don't know, complete strangers, like, okay, what is this? Okay, what is this? What the fuck is this? Okay, that is a lot of, there is, and I delete more messages than people realize, because it's like, I don't know where it's coming from. It seems unhelpful. You know, some seem like they're cleverly trying to, you know, insult me. And the mere fact that, you know, the input from the other person is not positive, helpful, or loving, I don't need it and I don't deserve it, and I just get rid of it. Merely me having an opinion that you don't agree with, why should that cause war or problems or make you want to be nasty to me? Because I'm just expressing myself. It's not aimed at anyone in particular, okay? If it does something inside of you, I don't know why, but I'm just saying what I think and feel. I'm just, you know, I'm just a good old-fashioned, wonderful and wonderfully flawed human being.